It's Julia from Little World of Whimsy, and today I'm going to talk about how to join in the round. We're going to go over 3 different methods, and the second 2 are going to be invisible joins that will hide the jog in your knitting. But first, I'm going to talk about why you want to join in the round. So whenever you cast on in any method that you used, I did a long tail cast on, you will need to join the round to begin working in a continuous spiral, basically. But the first thing you want to make sure of when you're joining the round is to make sure your stitches are not twisted. So this is what it looks like when your stitches are not twisted, and this is what it looks like, let me just show you, if they are twisted. So if they're twisted, then you'll see that this line goes from the inside of the needles to the outside. So you just want to make sure that you rotate them so that they're continuous along the inside of the knitting needles. So here's the first way to join in the round. The first method is to just continue knitting. I have my stitch marker here that I'm just going to put on my needle, and then I'm going to begin knitting. And this is probably the easiest method to join the round if you're a beginner and you just want to make your first hat and not have any fuss. And it works because you will just continue knitting and it'll be fine, but at the end there will be a slight jog, meaning it will be a little bit uneven since your spiral isn't joined at the end. Next, we're going to talk about one method to invisible join, which is a way to get rid of that unevenness in the first spiral. This first way of invisible joining is to essentially switch the first stitch and the last stitch in the round. So the way we're going to do that is we're just going to push the stitches on the left hand needle over a little bit and then let the first stitch over here just fall off. And we'll save it in 1 second, so don't panic. And with our left needle, we're going to grab the last stitch on the right hand needle and just pull it off. And then we're going to save this loop hanging down the left with our right hand needle, like this. So this way you can see we've made like a little crisscross, and so it's really tight, and this is a way of invisible joining. Then I'm going to slide on that stitch marker like before, and we can begin knitting. Our last method of invisible joining is actually going to involve one extra stitch. So after you cast on all the stitches that the pattern says you need to cast on just one more stitch, and I'm going to do that right now with a long tail cast on. And this stitch is going to go away once we finish the invisible join. So the way this invisible join works is we're going to actually slip one stitch from the first stitch from the left needle to the right needle, and I'm just going to do that like this. And then I'm going to bind off once. And so to bind off, we're going to slip that extra stitch we casted on over this loop. So let me just demonstrate that. I'm going to slide my left needle under the second to last loop on my right needle. Like this. And I'm just going to pull this second loop over this loop in a bind off. So you can see that loop right there, and I can pull that stitch shut by just pulling on the tail end of the yarn. So now we've gotten rid of that extra stitch that we cast on in the beginning, and we've invisible joined. And as you can see, it's also very tight, like the last one. And our last step is just to slide on the stitch marker, having invisible joined, and then begin knitting. So there you have it, 3 ways to join, and all of them are fairly easy, but you can pick whichever one is most in your comfort zone, or if you're a beginner, you can just actually not join, which is a join. But if you want that nice finish of the invisible join, then try any of the other 2 methods that I demonstrated. I hope this is helpful, and thank you so much for watching.